Hello, everyone. I'm James Lynch, and welcome to Reading Wisdom. I have a cup of coffee in my hand. I also have a bought and paid for Bible from years ago that is sitting right beside me as well in my lap. And I'm actually looking at the book of Matthew. Now, for the first time, some of you may actually be hearing this podcast on June 1st, 2026. This is actually the month where it starts getting even more warmer in a lot of areas. Not only that, but it is a month where here it is. Last month, people thought a lot about spring and all that entailed, and their mothers and things of that nature. And during this month, with the summer and the heat and everything, they kind of thinking about their fathers. And even on the first day of summer, which happens to be June 21st, I believe it's either on that day or somewhere around there. Well, some people um, take that day to even show appreciation for their fathers. All the same, is something about the month of June that for some of us, we have a tendency to just think about our fathers in the first place. Some of the things we may have done special for them, even if that was the only day we did it on for the whole year. Isn't that interesting? All the same, uh, speaking of special, the reason why I have the Bible in my hand, I've been working since 2026 is coming in on a lot of creative ventures. I even, put out a reading wisdom book, Getting It Right, uh, just this past week. And, you know, the more that I think about certain matters and the specialness of different things is, you see, it depends on the settings for some types of personalities. And I'm telling you, introverts are one of them, you see. And it's not only the introverts, but remember, there are different ranges of people who just like seclusion and how they interact with people. And then they also have when they want to really let their hair down and things of that nature. Well, let me tell you, looking at the book of Matthew, one of the things that I've actually, can tell you that I appreciate over the years, I talk about reading, I talk about you getting your favorite beverage, and at the same time, I normally mention, water, coffee, or even tea. But let me tell you, um, depending on, like I told you, uh, whether you read in libraries, whether you read in parks, whether you actually engage in these type of conversations with other persons after reading, like the book of Matthew, I can tell you right now, the book of Matthew has had probably more people who have come together at one time or the other where they were drinking anywhere from water, from Kool-Aid, from lemonade, from coffee, from tea, to Long Island iced teas, to moonshine, and even stronger than that. And if they didn't feel the Spirit of God in all scenarios. Okay. But anyway, with that thought still, I want to read this to you. And as you know, if I feel moved to make some brief comments in the book of Matthew during this month, then I will. You see, then I will. And sometimes persons may say, God told me to do this or what have you. And sometimes you don't even give too much thought to when people say this or say that. And because that's just their relationship and the way that they feel about God. in the different ways that, he communicates with them or what have you. Well, for some of us, it's a little bit more subtle than that. See, there's always almost like a constant hum or softness of a breeze or wind, if you will, the way that some of us have a tendency to feel God's love, comfort, and even suggestions in certain things, you know. So the whole point is where other persons may say, that's right, God told me this, and almost they sound like the prophets that they heard audible voices. Oh, well. And well, then you have others that is more in I would say, introverted, a subtle way, if you will, subtle in tone of softness, but very clear all the same. You see? So anyway, let me just read Matthew chapter 2 to you. All right? Here we go. After Jesus had been born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, look, astrologers from eastern parts came to Jerusalem, saying, where is the one born king of the Jews? For we saw his star when we were in the east, and we have come to do him obeisance. At hearing this, King Herod was agitated, and all Jerusalem along with him. And on gathering together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he began to inquire of them where the Christ was to be born. They said to him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for this is how it has been written through the prophet. And you, O Bethlehem of the land of Judah, are by no means the most insignificant city among the governors of Judah, for out of you will come forth a governing one who will shepherd my people Israel. Then Herod secretly summoned the astrologers and carefully ascertained from them the time of the star's appearing. And when sending them to Bethlehem, he said, go make a careful search for the young child, and when you have found it, report back to me, that I too may go and do it obeisance. When they had heard the king, they went their way, and look, the star they had seen when they were in the east went ahead of them until it came to a stop above where the young child was. On seeing the star, that they rejoiced very much indeed. And when they went into the house, they saw the young child with Mary its mother, and falling down, they did obeisance to it. They also opened their treasures and presented it with gifts, gold, and frankincense, and myrrh. However, because they were given divine warning in a dream not to return to Herod, they withdrew to their country by another way. After they had withdrawn, look, Jehovah's angel appeared in a dream to Joseph, saying, get up, take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and stay there until I give you word. For Herod is about to search for the young child to destroy it. So he got up and took along the young child and his mother by night and withdrew into Egypt. And he stayed there until the decease of Herod, for that to be fulfilled which was spoken by Jehovah through his prophet, saying, out of Egypt I called my son. Then Herod, seeing he had been outwitted by the astrologers, fell into a great rage, and he sent out and had all the boys in Bethlehem and in all the districts done away with from 2 years of age and under, according to the time that he had carefully ascertained from the astrologers. Then that was fulfilled which was spoken through Jeremiah the prophet, saying, a voice was heard in Ramah, weeping and much wailing. It was Rachel weeping for her children, and she was unwilling to take comfort because they are no more. When Herod had deceased, look, Jehovah's angel appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt and said, get up, take the young child and his mother, and be on your way into the land of Israel. for those who were seeking the soul of the young child are dead. So he got up and took the young child and his mother and entered into the land of Israel. But hearing that Archelaus ruled as king of Judea instead of his father Herod, he became afraid to depart for there. Moreover, being given divine warning in a dream, he withdrew into the territory of Galilee and came and dwelt in a city named Nazareth, that there might be fulfilled what was spoken through the prophets, he will be called a Nazarene. And so you do have a lot of information in there that people talk about over, you see, the years with one another. When Jesus was born, the great envy and hatred that Herod even tried to cover up. He even tried to act like he wanted to do something good for the newborn governor or king, you see, of God that it came to the world. But you can see it was all really a subterfuge. It was not true. He actually had evil intent towards taking the child out. And you can see that very clearly because when the child escaped, because Jehovah's angel told them to leave, to get out of there from out of his reach, and or told the astrologers to go a different way and don't return back and tell them where Jesus was at. Remember, then he just said, well, go and find all the babies 2 years and younger, you see, to wipe them out. And so the whole point is this. You have accurate knowledge in the scriptures. And, I want to make sure I said babies, but I think he was just saying the boys. Either way, if you remember, the same thing, he said young child, yeah, boys. Okay, we're all the same. I know it's in there. My eyesight is already starting to phase a little bit on me. But one thing that I want to let you know, that you remember the same similar thing had happened even in Moses' day. Sad to say, you see, when that evil ruler was becoming afraid of the prosperity and abundance of the Jews growing, God's people growing. You see, the fertility, the abundance of the inheritance of children and everything, they would be covering the land, you see. And so what did he do? Then he started having, all the boys, again, babies that were supposed to be, wiped out as well. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that. And until next time, have a wonderful day.